Just look at this animation. What it's even about? Who is the handsome young fellow? Why is he holding a frog with a crown? Is the frog safe? Should we be worried about it? I have absolutely no answers to these questions, but I can tell you how this animation was made. As usual, I started with a quick hand-drawn sketch. Just 2 keyframes, one at the beginning and one at the end. All the magic and chaos happens in between. And the real challenge is, how do you feel all that with clean-up artwork? Remember my flat bone system? No? Then go watch my previous video. I explain in there in a painful detail. Using the append function, I imported the flat bone system collection into the scene. I placed the bones so they roughly match the sketch in the first and the last keyframes. Then I added a new grease pencil object, which, brace yourselves, I named Frog. I parented it to the bone controlling the right hand and turned off the rotation inheritance in the child of constraint. Thank goodness for the set inverse button. When the first keyframe looked decent, I did the same for the last one. Now for the stuff in between. Remember motion paths. They really don't bite. Once I was more or less happy with the motion, I started filling the rigged grease pencil objects with the final artwork. I started with the head of this handsome heartthrob. I split it into layers. Eyes on one, nose on one, mouth on one, and the rest on another. The whole head object is obviously moved by the bone system. But did you know I can also move, rotate, and scale individual layers? No? Ha! Well, now you do. Hands! The eternal nightmare of every illustrator. I survived them by redrawing just a few keyframes from scratch. Nobody will notice. Probably. As for the torso, I could afford more detail since the movement isn't very complex. A bit of automatic interpolation and boom, ready-made body. Arms and forearms of course were a problem. Lots of cleanup work there. But at least I could listen to an audiobook of my favorite author while suffering. Where needed, I adjusted the bone by hand. Since grease pencil uses vectors, changing the hair color from boring white to dazzling red was pretty easy. Same with the rest. I never know from start what color scheme I want. The grease pencil workflow feels tailor-made for indecisive rascals like me. At the end, I added some camera movement and a mysterious facial expression to the royal frog. That's all for today. I hope that somewhere in the endless abyss of the internet there's someone who wants to animate a handsome troublemaker lifting a royal frog. If so, I hope this helped. Goodbye.